One of the first questions sellers ask is why their property is getting showings but no offers. And in many cases, the answer actually becomes clear within the first few weeks after a home hits the market. Buyers usually send three very clear signals once a listing goes live. One signal is when a property gets showings and an offer follows fairly quickly. Another signal is when a property receives showings but no one writes an offer. And the last signal is when there are no showings at all. Each one tells you something very specific about how the market is reacting to the property. In South Florida, the first few weeks after a property hits the market are usually the most important because that's when the largest group of active buyers will see the listing for the first time. Many of those buyers have already been watching the market closely and waiting for the right property to appear. When something new comes up that fits what they are looking for, they tend to move quickly to schedule a showing. That early activity becomes very valuable feedback for sellers. Instead of wondering what buyers might be thinking, the pattern of showings and offers often tells the story very clearly. Those signals can help you understand whether the property is positioned correctly in the market or whether something may need to be adjusted. The first signal the market can send is when a property receives strong showing activity and an offer follows fairly quickly. When that happens, it usually means the property is positioned correctly in the market. The price aligns with what buyers expected when they first saw the listing online. The condition compares well with other homes they have been touring, and buyers feel a certain urgency that if they wait too long, someone else might move forward first. When those elements come together, the listing tends to gain momentum early. That doesn't mean every showing automatically becomes an offer, but when a property is priced and presented correctly, interest often turns into offers fairly quickly. In many cases, when a property receives an offer early in the process, it simply means the strategy from the beginning matched what buyers were already looking for in that price range and location. Another signal the market often sends is when a property receives showings, sometimes quite a few, but no one is writing an offer. This is actually the most common situation. Buyers are interested enough to schedule a showing and walk through the property, but something is causing hesitation before they move forward. Most of the time, that hesitation comes down to one of three things. The first is price compared to competing listings. Buyers today are very informed and often see several homes in the same price range during the same day, so even a small difference in perceived value can influence their decision. The second factor is condition compared to other options buyers have seen. Sometimes a property is appealing, but buyers are comparing upgrades, renovations, layout, and overall presentation with other homes they toured that day. The third factor can involve building considerations such as maintenance fees, insurance costs, or possible assessments, which buyers in South Florida often review carefully before making a decision. And the last signal the market can send is when there are no showings at all. When buyers are not even scheduling a showing, the market is sending a very direct message. The property simply isn't competitive enough to attract attention compared with other listings. In most situations, this comes down to three main factors: price, presentation, or exposure. Price means the property may be outside the range buyers are searching or comparing when they scroll through listings. Presentation refers to how the property appears when buyers first see it online, including the photos, lighting, staging, and the overall impression it creates. Exposure refers to how effectively the listing is reaching the right group of buyers through marketing and visibility, but in many cases the primary factor tends to be price. Buyers today have access to a lot of information, and if a property doesn't feel competitive compared to other homes they are seeing, they often move on before even scheduling a visit. That's why those first few weeks on the market are so important. The activity during that time provides very clear feedback about how buyers are reacting to the property. Showings are not just activity, they are feedback from the market. Sellers who understand those signals early can adjust strategy instead of simply waiting and hoping something changes. If you own property in South Florida and you're thinking about selling, paying attention to those early signals can make a big difference in how quickly a property sells and the type of offers it attracts. Every property tells a story once it hits the market. The key is understanding what the market is actually saying.